All right, looks like we're live. I'm here with my sidekick, Artistic Layman,
Hello, everyone.
and yeah, so here we are on Tuesday night. Well, Tuesday morning, I guess. We're Monday night. Uh, so anything interesting happen over the weekend? Any fucking leftists go batshit crazy? Want to shoot up a church, Brian? So if you didn't hear, in down in Texas, some and people, I guess, screen capped his Facebook, and it's looking like he's a atheist. He's fucking Antifa and shit like that. You know, the usual checklist. And then, of course, predictably, all the left wing, celebrities are on Twitter like, "Don't send thoughts and prayers. They were already in a church. What they need is gun control." And one guy on Twitter, and I don't remember who said this, but said, it sure is nice of all these Hollywood actors to take time out of raping children to condemn prayer. Huh?
Ho ho ho.
But seriously, yeah, I sure do love being lectured by an industry made up entirely of rapists and whores on what is and is not moral. Um, Somebody in the race in the chat says, Will Wheaton lost his shit. Well, of course, there's only one thing you say to that. Shut up, Wesley. It's like, oh, Will Wheaton told me I should disarm myself. Well, if this obnoxious beta male, who is only famous for being the worst part of a show that was canceled over 20 years ago, is telling me I should give up my guns, then I guess I should. I mean, case closed, right? Case closed. Oh. I mean, I'm tired of arguing gun control with these fucking people too. It's like, first of all, it's always a leftist that goes out and does these shootings. All right, always. Race is telling me he made me a new Twitter account. I did see that, Race. I'll check it out here shortly. I still have my troll account, which survived my purge. I was actually thinking of remaking it into not Bechtloff, but I don't know. Um, we'll see on that. But yeah, I'm so tired of having this conversation with leftists. It's like, okay, first of all, oh, we got to take the guns. We got to take the guns. First of all, the answer is no. Okay, all right, no, and now what? That's what I say to all these fuckers. You know what I mean? Like, I've made my peace with God. You want to take them? Come and try. That's all I got to say anymore. You want to take them? Come and try. You know, I've made my peace with God. Let's dance. You're my cold dead hand is what you will pry my handgun and my shotgun out of. All right.
Especially when you stop to consider that the man above was the man who actually stopped him with his gun.
Yeah. I will not negotiate away my right to self-defense. There's no greater, more basic right in existence. All right. There's no, if there even is a such thing as rights, then self-defense is a right. Okay. God gave even the beast tooth and claw. All right. Every living thing has the right to fight for its survival. No, I'm not going to hand my fucking guns away because it makes Will Wheaton's pussy hurt that I have it. The fact that Will Wheaton's pussy hurts is really that just makes the gun even cooler. All right. That just makes it even nicer. All right. That makes me want to like mail him pictures of my gun. Like not even email, just snail mail them to him. Actual physical pictures just to get him more upset.
And what really drives me up the wall on this particular issue is just how completely tactless and horrible the liberal comments have been. Like Sean King, the white man who's actually who turns himself into a black man. He said, "Don't worry, everybody. It was a white man who slaughtered half of the Church of Texas. That means everything is just fine. No terrorism."
It's first of all, these are the same people that call you every kind of bigot if you think, hey, maybe it's not wise to let a bunch of people into our country who belong to a death cult. That might not be the best thing. But, there's the guns, the guns. Okay, I mean, at this point, yeah, I would be willing to make one compromise with the left, because it's always some batshit crazy leftist who goes and shoots up people. I would be willing to make a compromise that perhaps registered Democrats should not be allowed to own firearms. I would be. We might need to get an amendment passed if we want to be really constitutional about it, but I would be willing to consider that. Because frankly, I wouldn't trust most of y'all leftists with scissors, let alone a gun. But you don't get to shoot at us and then demand we disarm. All right, it doesn't work that way. Like, I'm not falling for that. Okay. There's no part of me that's gonna buy into that. Holy crap, leftists keep trying to kill me. I guess we should all beat our swords into plowshares. Well, no, that's not gonna fucking happen.
How will we beat our liberals into plowshares?
Like, no, you're not taking my gun. And if you want it that bad, come and fucking get it. Well, you're saying you could stop the government from taking your gun? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying maybe I'm gonna make them earn it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Amen, brother.
But no, you're not getting my fucking guns. All right. Like, no, we need gun control. Again, yeah, no registered Democrat can have a gun. I'm okay with that law.
Now this tweet didn't make any sense. From Chelsea Handler. Innocent people go to innocent people go to church on Sunday to honor their God, and while doing so, they get shot and killed. In what country? America. Why? Republicans. What? I had to read that twice to make sure I had that right. You're blaming Republicans for this situation, considering that the Republicans are always saying that people shouldn't have restriction on guns. And
fucking Republicans, am I right?
But why not? We haven't had a direct Republican insult for a while, and Lord knows we need to have an insult on Republicans ever since they were gunned down by that crazy Bernie Sanders supporter.
Well, I mean, if the Democrats were in charge, those people wouldn't have been allowed to attend church in the first fucking place, so it wouldn't have happened. They'd have had to go, sign up for their mandatory, remote control dildos. They're Bluetooth-enabled butt plugs.
Oh, you're right, Bechtloff. They won't have flying cars, but at least we'll have Wi-Fi pleasure toys.
Why is everything got to be fucking Wi-Fi, dude? Somebody did an experiment. Now it was some school did this experiment. I don't know if it's been professionally recreated, but it's getting passed around social media. So maybe it's a scare. I don't know, but it kind of rings true to me, where they tried to grow, like when you were in a elementary school and you tried to grow like acorns and shit. You know what I mean? Like you watched it grow in this little thing. Yeah. Well, they did one of those where they put some of them, like, I guess, near a Wi-Fi router and some of them not. And the ones by the Wi-Fi router wouldn't grow.
Uh-huh.
So, can we go back to, like, having wires on shit? Like, is that okay? Can we do that again? Like, why does everything need to be... I get why my cell phone has to be on fucking Wi-Fi. But why does everything... Just hardwiring the internet into most devices anymore... People look at you like you're a fucking caveman. Because I don't want my fucking living room full of electromagnetic radiation. Also, Wi-Fi doesn't work that well.
Yeah, the last place I was at, the Wi-Fi supposedly was only like a few feet away from my computer. Yeah, I couldn't get a signal. So what? I'll just get a cable, plug it in, and drag it through the room.
I drop signal all the fucking time on this anymore. I don't even like wireless controllers on like video game consoles and shit like that. It's just, this stuff doesn't work that well. And I'm not so enamored with the shiny and new that I'm so like, oh my God, I don't have a wire on my Xbox controller. It's so amazing. Because, the wire was really holding me back.
Although there is one situation where that does work when you have a big screen and your couch is farther than the wire can be, which... Of course, it brings to one question, doesn't have longer wires. Like maybe you have too big of a screen or too far away of a couch.
I'm not saying let's like nothing should be wireless. I'm just saying like why does everything have to be wireless? It's like your scientists were so concerned with whether or not you could make it wireless. You never stopped to ask if you should.
Oh, it's like that joke, like that Y2K joke in The Simpsons. Why is my milk broken? It has a microchip in it. Everything does.
My laptop, I had to get a like USB port converter to get the Ethernet hooked up to my laptop because I'm just apparently supposed to have fucking Wi-Fi on my laptop, even though I literally sit a foot from the Wi-Fi router when I do this. Like this laptop is not even a foot from the Wi-Fi router, and it still loses signal sometimes. I still got to like turn the connection off, and then turn it back on once in a while. Ugh. Yeah, I'm so sick of everything being Wi-Fi. It's not. There's probably a bit. Obviously, there's health reasons, but I don't think it works that well. And there's plenty of time. Like I don't understand why we all became so fucking afraid of wires. Like the little earbuds. Remember last year when everybody was like, "Oh, you can get the little earbuds. They're wireless." Like, who the hell needed that?
Those things cost a fortune, don't they?
The only thing I could get I think I could get use out of it is at my job I wear earplugs, right? And I could actually probably get away with listening to music if I had the wireless earbuds.
Yeah,
because they just think they were earplugs, you know. But I mean, they probably don't work that well either. That's the thing. I can't imagine they work that well.
Yeah, they've yet to make the wireless earplugs with those special earplugs that actually have like those plastic suctions, because the iPhone headsets don't work very well, especially if your ear is not in the right shape.
Somebody in the chat says we need wireless because do you really want to have a wire hanging out of your butt? For those Bluetooth enabled dildos. You can't reach the tendies with a wire. Well, getting back to guns, you know, my gun is not Bluetooth enabled, though I'm sure they're working on that. But no, leftists, you don't get to shoot at us, then demand we disarm. Like you're gonna, oh, this guy's shooting at me. That makes me feel guilty. I better give up my guns. No, it's not going to happen. That's not going to work. I'm not giving up my gun. All right. You know, it's and frankly, I mean, please try it. Please try and take them. I'm actually really sad. Y'all leftists pushed out on that. You know, the 4th of November thing. Weren't you going to start some shit on the 4th of November? You guys were running your mouth about that. You're gonna start some shit, and I was just sitting here like, come on, do it, come on. You know, it's like that meme where they're poking the Antifa logo with a stick. Like, come on, do a civil war. Like, please start that shit. But you know, that's the leftists for you. They just all talk, except for every once in a while when one goes crazy and shoots up a church.
And of course, we cause them to do it.
Oh yeah, because you know it's. Did the guy get shot or did he shoot himself? I've heard different reports that.
Well, from what I heard, someone who actually was armed at the place shot him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard too. But then I heard somebody else say, "Oh, he shot himself or something?" I mean, it's Texas, so I'm surprised he wasn't, you know, just riddled with bullets. I'm surprised the whole congregation didn't just open fire. Well, and I said this after the Vegas thing, and I'll say it again. Part of the urge here with this gun control shit is that people want to feel in control again. It's a scary thing that somebody can just, you know, barge into somewhere where you least expect it and just start shooting. That's a scary thought. But that's the reality of the situation. That's life. If somebody has gone batshit crazy and they wish to harm people and they have no regard for their own safety, or their own life preservation, not a whole hell of a lot can be done to prevent or stop that sort of thing. I mean, obviously, once they start a rampage, you could put them down or something, but safety is a relative term at best and an outright illusion at worst.
Yeah, according to this article, it was by a sharpshooting plumber fired the shot that took down the Texas church gunman.
Good. Hope he got him in like the gut and he suffered.
Or he did James Bond 007 style. What was that game? GoldenEye style, where you shoot him in the groin. I hope there's a GIF of that somewhere.
But part of the reason this call for gun control happens is obviously a lot of these leftists are just very, very bad people, and they want to disarm you because they want to do very, very bad things to you. That's true of the leftist politicians. That's even true of some of the leftist rank and file. Guys like Movie Bob and shit like that are just pure fucking evil. I mean, the man literally, and I use the term man loosely, literally sits around on Twitter all day openly fantasizing about horrific genocide against those evil, non-city dwellers or whatever bullshit the
man fancies himself Magneto among the masses.
Yeah. Part of the reason, though, some people latch onto this gun control thing is usually after this sort of thing, the person is dead. You know what I mean? They've put the gun on themselves or somebody has taken them down or whatever. And you don't really get that catharsis you get when we put a motherfucker on trial and we hang him. You know what I mean? They've escaped earthly justice, as it were, and that's not very satisfying for us mere mortals. And you want to feel like you can prevent the next one, even though in many regards you can't. There are some basic things you can do to make things more safe. We could stop letting in Muslims, for example. That'd be a good thing. We could, stop letting leftists have anything sharper than scissors, that kind of thing. But for the most part, somebody says about Movie Bob, more like Fat Nito. But for the most part, you have to accept the fact that, shit happens. You know what I mean? And you're driving down the highway, there's not a whole hell of a lot you could do to predict or prevent the idea that somebody coming the opposite way may have decided that they want to end their life by slamming into the next green car they see if you're driving a green car. You know what I mean? There's not a whole hell of a lot you can do to prevent that or stop it, whatever. At a certain point, you have to just make your peace with God and live your life and realize that you're never going to be completely safe. There's that line in Rick and Morty when they're like, oh my God, vampires are real. What are we going to do? And Rick says, we're going to live our lives until we die, possibly from vampire, most likely from heart disease or car wreck, but possibly from vampire. And that's kind of got to be your reaction to these shootings on some level is, oh man, what am I going to do? Well, you're going to live your life until you die, possibly because somebody shoots you, more likely from heart disease or car wreck. And that you have to be willing to have that attitude to some extent. You have to be like, look, you're never going to be 100% safe. You're going to die one day, one way or another. Make your peace with God and live your life.
Yeah, and well, that kind of ties into the liberal mentality of, oh, we can do certain, the whole liberal mentality, especially in the communist mentality, is actually making sure the utopia comes around so we can do certain things and justify certain behavior to prevent that. And preventing Muslims, for example, is not part of that criteria because I guess preventing Muslims somehow interferes with the communist revolution, I guess.
I don't know. But in all fairness, there are people on the right that fall into similar camps. I said after the Vegas shooting that, how many times had we seen shooters in the past where if they're younger than a certain age, and I'm almost amazed we didn't hear it this time because the guys like our age, I think, you heard guys like, oh, it's the violent video games made him do it. Certainly anytime there's a school shooting, you always heard that shit. It was Marilyn Manson made him do it, and they played Doom one time or something. You know what I mean? I'm going to ban that stuff. And that's kind of, to some extent, the same mentality as we're going to ban the guns, right? Now, obviously, there isn't quite as much sinister shit behind the, that kind of thing as there's with the guns. Because, again, usually when politicians want to disarm you, it's because they intend to do something for which they should be rightfully shot. That's not quite the same with just the jackass pearl clutchers that want to stop you from playing Call of Duty or whatever. But to some extent, it's the same idea that no, if we just got rid of this one thing, we'd make sure this kind of thing never happened again. I mean, hell, as much as I harp on driving Islam out of the West, and yeah, we should. If I could snap my fingers and wipe Islam from the face of the earth, I mean, people are going to come up with other reasons to want to kill people. All right, Ireland was a bloodbath for a long time just because there were two different stripes of Christianity there. People will find reasons to want to do that. I mean, again, you can lessen the odds of it, as it were, but at the end of the day, man is still a fallen creature,
And how about we lessen the odds by doing things that actually lessen the odds instead of saying, "Oh, if we just keep people from having guns," like, because that's going to stop.
Anything, like, more guns. More guns is what makes that not happen. Okay. Usually these things happen in gun-free zones for a reason. But yeah, there's a difference between taking some basic precautions in life and not living your life. Yeah, I put my seatbelt on, but I'm also not going to, I can't go anywhere because I might get in a car wreck. That's not how I'm going to live my life, And again, the gun control thing. Now, while there are just some well-meaning idiots who think, yeah, we'll all be safe when we give up the guns, the majority of the people who are pushing it, as I said, if they want to take away your guns, it's because they intend to do something to you for which they should be rightfully shot. And that's even true of a lot of the mouthpieces. Again, as I said, even guys as low on the totem pole as Movie Bob, he imagines that he's going to be part of the ruling elite. When the vertical farming revolution takes hold in the cities. Let's see. Somebody says ban mazes and monsters. It's a far out game. Somebody says Movie Bob still has a career and fans. I guess. I haven't really checked his channel in forever. I don't really know how many views he's got anymore. But it's much more entertaining to just look at his fucking YouTube where he's openly fantasizing, where he's basically tweeting out his manifesto piece by piece. You talk about a guy that might fucking snap, and that's like, I've often thought Spoonie might kill himself, but Movie Bob's the kind of guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on a rampage one day. I think just the fact that would require physical exertion is the only thing stopping him from doing it.
Let's see. His average view is about 50,000 views, and when he's doing like a major movie, it's like 100,000.
It's not bad. I'm kind of surprised it's hovered at that level.
Oh, of course, his subscriber is 126,000. So basically, on good days, he slightly meets above his subscription count, and when it's not so good, it's barely half.
I wonder if he has a Patreon. Do you know if he has a Patreon?
I believe he does, and I think I'm going to check it in just a moment.
Bet you he makes more than Spoonie.
Oh yeah, yeah. He isn't. He actually makes content, so.
DSP makes more than Spoonie.
Let's see. As of
that
now,
never ceases to make me laugh.
Let's see. He doesn't say how much he makes, but he has. Oh wait, yeah, he does. He has over 1,000 patrons and makes over $3,000 a month.
Nice work if you can get it. Of course, he still manages to get fucked by the tax man.
Of course.
And Patreon makes you file the tax papers if you make over 10 grand a year. I mean, Bob, how are you screwing this up? Speaking of which, folks, I have a Patreon. If you'd like to support me and this wonderful channel and all the cool stuff I do,
Please do.
you know, you can you can go and you can support the Patreon. Send me a regular amount of shekels each month. Or if you like, you know, I don't want to commit to doing it month by month, but I'd still like to send that lovely Bechtloff fellow some shekels. You can always click the PayPal button there and just send me some shekels that way. So yeah, if you enjoy what I do, you know, tips of any size are greatly appreciated. I'm really hoping one day to be over Spoonie's amount. Spoonie's at like, what is it, 500 some odd bucks right now, 580, which is, I mean, 500. While it's laughable to be living on $580 a month, you know, I mean, maybe another 100 with ad revenue. It's still $580 more than he deserves.
Yeah, 587.
So as I'm slowly creeping up over the next few months, and he's dropping, maybe I'll meet him in the middle at some point. Who knows? I am gonna laugh my fucking ass off if I'm ever higher than him on Patreon. I'm gonna fucking die laughing. It's still giving Spoonie money. I haven't come up with any kind of like goals, well, not goal, rewards on Patreon yet. And it's kind of difficult here because the thing is, I don't have a huge fan base. I mean, I appreciate you guys, and you guys are great fans, and you know, there's certainly a decent number of people who listen to this, but you know, it's not like these live streams are doing 10,000 views or 5,000 views. You know, a lot of people kind of basically reward fans with specific one-on-one interaction with them, for lack of a better term, that basically I could just give to most people that feel like messaging me anyways, you know? So, you know, usually if you message me on Skype or something, or on Facebook or something, I usually respond. And I can't really think of anything else to do, maybe like a Q&A or something. But again, you know, most people can just ask questions in the chat or something. I'll see them. Like I said, I haven't thought of any real rewards to do, but I do intend to try and do some sort of rewards because, you know, if you're kind enough to be wanting to support me each month, what the hell is that banging noise on your end, Luke? It's like a click, 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 click. I feel like Bill Murray's character when he's like in Scrooge, and he's like, "Please stop the damn hammering." Oh, what that is? But no. If you like, I do want to come up with some sort of reward system. I don't know about like stretch goals or any bullshit like that, because I'm not going to do some dumb shit like, you know, if you send me $5,000 a month, I'll do the Bechtloff the movie. No, I'm not going to do dumb shit like that. That's dumb. Nobody needs that. There's no reason to do that. Then I'll just be like Spoonie, where I'm like, oh shit, I have to do a Spoonie movie now. Let me just crawl into a beer bottle and hope everybody forgets that I promised that. Let's see.
Or perhaps recommendations for VidMe topics.
That's not a bad idea. There's 9 videos I think on the VidMe right now. So, and I know there's like 3 bits of audio I've sent to Luke that he's working on, and there's 2 more that I got to record, right? That I actually have, or 3 more. I'm you know what? I might do this one here soon because maybe I want to do a not that or is it really that bad on Bubsy?
That'd be fun.
And since they just did the new Bubsy, just came out like a couple days ago, I feel like now's a good time to be talking about that. Because see, the thing about Bubsy is, it is that bad, but everyone gets wrong why. Every review I ever see of the Bubsy games, you know, it's even the first one. Everyone talks about like, oh, the you know, the the game mechanics or whatever, you know. But that's not why you don't like PUBG. Yeah, the mechanics and you know the falling damage is dumb and the one hit kill is dumb. But no, it's not. That's not why you don't like PUBG. You don't like PUBG because PUBG sucks. That's a game. The character. The character is shit. The world is shit. There's nothing interesting about it. There's nothing endearing about it. Nothing connects with you emotionally. And ultimately, especially with a 2D side scroller, if nothing connects with you emotionally in a game, you're basically just moving a dot around on a screen. So that's the thing. Like this new Bubsy game, I haven't played it, but even if you made it mechanically competent, you're going to end up with at best a very forgettable game because nobody likes Bubsy. I mean, there's flaws in a lot of classic game franchises. You know, the classic Mega Man is often a bit too more ball busting than it has any right to be. You know, a game about a happy blue robot that saves the world. Especially Mega Man 1. There's a lot of cheap shit in Mega Man 1. But Mega Man's cool, you know? I mean, hell, Castlevania. The controls in classic Castlevania are often ass. You know, I know people would be like, oh, it's meant to be that way. Well, not really. I think it was just, you know, they couldn't do really good controls in the first game, so they just made really good level design around it. And they did do wonderful level design in the first Castlevania game around those shit controls. But breaking my legs and then giving me a really, really nice wheelchair ramp, well, that doesn't make up for breaking my legs. No matter how really, really nice you make that wheelchair ramp. But at the same time, people overlook that because Castlevania is fucking cool. You're this badass dude with a whip, and you're going to go kick a whole haunted mansion's ass. That's cool. There's nothing about Bubsy that connects with anybody. What did you put on? Oh, somebody in the chat was saying like there's a sexy Bubsy on screen.
Oh yeah, some fan artists have turned Bubsy into a girl.
Oh.
But yeah, here we have Bubsy, Mega Man, and Simon Belmont. And the thing that distinguishes all of them, like from Bubsy, is that Bubsy is nothing more than a collection of snarky pop culture references.
Yeah, I mean, you could like Sonic the Hedgehog is designed by committee, but it at least was a committee that was competent. Yeah, there's nothing endearing about Bubsy. But yeah, that's probably, I mean, I'm kind of spoiling that video, but yeah, that's going to be the basic crux there. But yes, Bubsy is as bad as you hear, but see, nobody wants to admit why Bubsy really sucks because it sounds superficial. Like every game reviewer wants to dissect the flaws in the mechanics and all that shit, rather than just go, nothing about this game makes me overlook the flaws because fuck this character and fuck this world. Again, if it doesn't connect with it, it's not even that it has to have like a deep story, but if there's nothing about the lore, nothing about the character, nothing about the world, nothing about the story, if there's nothing about those things that connects with you, you're just moving a dot around on a screen. And I mean, you know, maybe some of the very early arcade games could get away with that, you know, but like by the time you're at the 16-bit era, you have to have something that captures your imagination. You know what I mean? I mean, hell, even something as basic as Pac-Man had more going for it, you know? Why is he running from ghosts? I want to know. It's more interesting than Bubsy. Q*bert had more interesting fucking lore than Bubsy. And again, those things at least had solid gameplay. I mean, you can't deny Pac-Man or Q*bert had solid gameplay, you know? But there's plenty of, like I said, there's plenty of games where it's like, you know, people overlook flaws. You know what I mean? Because there's something about it that captures your imagination. There's nothing about Bubsy makes you willing to overlook its flaws. So its flaws just shine all the brighter.
The only way I was able to get over those flaws because I was just curious how the game would end because I was just determined to beat every game I owned.
Well, when you're a kid, yeah, I mean, shit. If you owned it as a kid, you're gonna, I mean, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna play this fucking game as long as you can. I think I would have like popped the Game Genie in or something to play off your Bugsy. Like I wouldn't have. I very rarely, as a kid, like did a Game Genie just to beat a game. I usually did it more to like mess around. You know what I mean? Like to really just explore every corner of it and stuff like that. But something like Bubsy, I would have just plowed through the Game Genie just to see the end to say I did.
And unless I'm mistaken from the first game, I think it's like quasi-reveal that the whole thing is like a Hollywood act. I can't remember exactly.
I remember it was like aliens and they were trying to steal balls of yarn or something.
Oh yeah, I remember from the booklet, like aliens came to steal all his yarn, and I guess they kicked him away, and so he's determined to get all his yarn back or whatever. That's really annoying because he doesn't really have a greater motivation other than, hey, they stole my yarn, I'm gonna go get it back.
Well, again, I mean, Donkey Kong Country, the whole motivation is I'm getting back my bananas, right? But Donkey Kong Country has atmosphere and the overall animation has character to it and the gameplay obviously is better, but just the overall presentation and atmosphere and lore of Donkey Kong is far more interesting than fucking Bubsy. I also want to do a not that bad on ET for the Atari because like ET's really not that bad. It's shit, but really most Atari games are shit. I mean, ET for the Atari is no worse and no more convoluted and nonsensical than Raiders of the Lost Ark for the Atari. It's just ET had that, being at just the wrong place at the wrong time thing. So he says Bubsy is a Hollywood act. Did he know Harvey Weinstein? Is that how Bubsy got his game? Let's see. Hollywood continues to implode. That's just fantastic. I think what's it? Jim did another video on Hollywood imploding, so check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah, supposedly there were 90 women involved with Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. So again, we should all give up our guns because a bunch of whores and rapists said so. I'm still half tempted to get the Retron 77 when it comes out. Like the thing that plays Atari 26. It'll play Atari 2600 games. Because the 2600 is before my time. The Atari's before my time. NES is the first system I played as a kid. That's the first one I owned. I mean, I was born in 83, so I mean, NES came out when I was 2. So obviously it's the first system I ever owned. But there's two reasons I kind of am interested in the Retron 77. Number one, Atari 2600 games it's a very cheap library to get into. There's a lot of games you can get for very cheap. And some of them are pretty decent. A lot of them just because they're, ports of classic arcade games like Q-Bird or Donkey Kong or whatever. And they're not the best ports of them, obviously, but they're playable. They're fine. But then part of me almost wants it, not just for the historical reason, but because there's so much about modern AAA gaming that's just so soulless and not fun that part of me wants to like look at how simple you can make a game and still retain some element of fun. You know what I mean? Part of me almost wants to go back even before my time to be like, what is possibly an element that is in these games that is missing from your latest AAA Boar Fest that looks as pretty can be?
Oh, here's a fun Patreon idea: Bechtloff, the animated series.
Yeah, I heard people in the chat saying make a Bechtloff animated movie. Ugh. Yeah, I don't really know what to do as a stretch goal. I mean, like part of me wants to make it so like, I'll do actual like let's plays and shit, but I don't know how to fuck to do any of that shit. So it's almost not like lacking the equipment. It's just I don't know how to do shit on the internet. I really don't. I figure some shit out and that's but like I don't know how to do stuff on the internet. The internet is a system of tubes, right? Um,
There's some electricity involved too.
so he says, dude, just get an emulator. I don't care how bad your computer is, it can run it. I don't like emulators. I mean, I might do something like that if I really wanted to capture footage and all, but I mean, especially if you're reviewing classic games, you should be playing them on classic systems. Uh, Plus, I like building a library of games. I don't. I like. I'm a nerd. I like collecting shit. I like building a little library on my shelf. Um, let's see. Going to the chat here a little bit. Bechtloff Theater featuring excerpts from Movie Bob's book. I have thought about doing readings of Movie Bob's book, but unfortunately, I'd have to buy another copy of it, and I'd hate to throw him another $8 because you can't find the damn thing used. You can only find it on like Fangamer.com or something. But I did a review for it for Reaction, and my review, which I'm not going to read the Reaction article or anything, but basically I started off by saying that in much the same way a T-bone steak is a hard steak to cook, this is a hard book to review because a T-bone steak obviously is a hard steak to cook because it's two steaks. And this book is a hard book to review because it's two books. On the one level, it's a book that analyzes Super Mario Brothers 3, which isn't bad for what it's doing. He goes through and he talks about, every level in every world, and he's actually pretty good at pointing out some of what made this game really special for the time. The problem is that the other one of these books is the first part of the book in which he goes through the quote-unquote history of Mario, or his history with Mario, which is really just he's decided to tell you his life story against your will. You just wanted to read a book on Mario, and he's going to tell you his life story. And it's fucking sad. And then there's like this diary like of a madman throughout the part where he's like each day he plays a few more levels because apparently Super Mario Brothers 3 is so fucking demanding he can't play it in a day despite not having a job. Like I could have done this. He does like 2 levels a day. Like Mario 3 had really short levels, you cocksucker. But he'll also talk about like the shit going on in his life, like how he didn't go to his grandma's funeral because he wanted to play Mario 3. It's all fucking really sad. Like the guy had like no friends. The guy has like no friends. All right. I've heard from people like who was talking to Blackface Kermit a while back who was all like talking about how somebody had met Bob at one of these cons and how he just seems really lonely. Like Bob, it's very easy to hate Movie Bob. Don't get me wrong, he deserves it. But anytime you feel like being mad at Movie Bob, remember that at the end of the day, he has to be Movie Bob. Like, being Bob Chipman is both his crime and his punishment. He is a lonely, friendless virgin who is digging his grave with a knife and fork. I mean, look at this man and tell me you don't just feel some pity well up in you. And by the way, you could be like, Bechtloff, how do you know he's a virgin? Well, for one thing, I read his fucking autobiography, okay? I mean, again, against my will. I thought I was reading about Mario. But Bob, he had a different agenda there. He's going to tell me his life fucking story. And you know what was conspicuously absent from this life story? Was any mention of any romantic entanglements. And don't you dare tell me he's the kind of guy that would play that shit close to the vest. All right? If a woman so much as glanced at this man's shriveled fucking penis, he would be parading that fact down the street. He'd be latching onto her like Chris Chan latches onto a girl that wandered into his field of vision. Like, this man this man is a virgin. All right, don't tell me he's not. Maybe at some point he got like a pity fuck in the back of a Volvo one time or something from a fat chick, but I doubt even that. I really doubt even that. And you look at his Twitter where he's just fantasizing about killing all the normies or whatever. That's the rage of a virgin, my friends. It's the rage of a man in his 30s who has never known a woman's touch. The last pussy he saw was the one he came out of.
Or crossing the street. Because they walk on all fours and land on their feet.
But yeah, that like that poor fucker. I mean, you really, I really would like to know the context for the Mario outfit too. Like, you almost want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, like, was he going to a costume party? Was it for a video or something? But that just looks like something he fucking did. Like, that's just a Saturday night for Bob. It really is weird too, because when you look at like the double chin going on here with Bob, right? Like, a really weird, proportionately large level of fat is stored around his fucking neck there. You know what I mean? Like, for the rest of the body and shit. Like, I don't know. Like he's not quite Jim Sterling fat or something. But if you were to just look at the head, you would swear that he is.
Okay, I think I've discovered the context for this picture. Supposedly, it's Halloween of 2006.
What was he going to a party? I mean,
no other information is available at this point.
Because I love Halloween. Halloween's fun on the bun, all right? And I'm not above, as a grown-ass man, dressing up for Halloween. But that would be like if I was going somewhere. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to, like, dress up in a costume and take a picture and put it on the internet, which I suspect is what he did. He's so awkward in the pose, too. You know what I mean? Like, you're on camera for a fucking living. How are you that awkward? How do you not know that? Is this how a human being stands?
And this is him now. At least his latest video is now.
I can't tell if he's lost some weight or if it's like the beard is hiding that giant fucking turkey neck of his.
If you look closely, you can see the layers.
No, Bob. Again, you want to be mad at him because Movie Bob is like the Jeb Bush of YouTube. Like, you want to feel bad for him until you realize what a reprehensible shitbag he is. You know what I mean? but at the same time, you can't feel like really mad at him because it's like, one day, Bob, you're gonna die. One day, judging by your appearance, one day not too far from now, you're gonna die. Largely unmourned and unloved, being nothing but you. Captain N. Look at it. The years have not been kind to Captain N.
Although I think this is him as the overthinker in the last episode.
Oh, the game overeater. You know what I can't. I don't know if I could make it a stretch goal because it's like I mean it's I could almost get like a copyright notice from Bob on it. But like one thing I would love to do is like maybe have Luke animated or something, but like have like the episode 100 that was supposed to be the last episode, but I think he brought it back, of the Game Overeater, where it's like periodically throughout. Like you could reshoot it a little bit and make it a horror movie, right? Like periodically throughout the Game Overeater, as there's all this bullshit lore about the Captain and Space Jesus, and he's playing Mario chess with him with all the pieces in the wrong spot, and you just like cut to like, and like he's fighting the big space gorilla and shit, and you just cut to like Bob, like glassy eyed, crazy in his basement, like in just his fucking underwear, like not shaven and fucking Cheeto dust all over him, and he's just having a delusion. Like this whole thing is a delusion, and like the space gorilla is like a loved one trying to talk him down from it. And when he defeats the space gorilla, he actually is like stabbing the loved one. And then like the last scene is like him in a fucking nut house with a straight jacket, just be like, I did it, Captain and Space Jesus.
We can do what they did in that Christmas horror movie.
That would be absolutely fantastic. That would, like I said, you could make the last episode of the Game Overeater just something really special. You just, and you know what, Bob, feel free to take that idea. Go ahead and run with that. I'm telling you, you turn that into one hell of a horror movie. Let's see. There's the one Twitter post he had, and I think it's still pinned on there, where it was like he's bitching about Donald Trump, and it was like, reminder, he's a fucking game show host, because he had The Apprentice, and I retweeted that with a caption above it like, reminder, he's a how did I put it? He's like, he's an obese diabetic 35-year-old virgin who thinks Super Mario is his friend. Dude, you talk about so stupid. Like, he is in this video. He's supposed to be like playing chess with the Captain and Space Jesus, right? And oh, dude, I remember that the green screen's fucking up, and it looks like he's shitting himself or whatever. Like the pant thing you cut out there. Oh, I remember that. But like when he's got all the Mario chess pieces, right? And I don't know what character is what piece in Mario chess. I just know that no matter what character, I think it was like Toad was, he's in the wrong spot because he's in like two different spots. You know what I mean? And I just remember thinking like, okay, maybe you don't play chess. Maybe you don't give a fuck about chess. And you just bought this because you buy everything that has Mario's name slapped on it. Fine. But if you're going to actually pretend to play chess on camera, you think you maybe take like, I don't know, 30 fucking seconds and Google the rules? But not Bob. Nope, not Bob. In fact, Bob doesn't even feel the need to take a green bottle of dish soap out of the background, knowing full well that the green screen effect is going to pick up on that green dish soap. Like, there it is. Look where Toad is, right? Look where Toad is. What is Toad supposed to be? Like,
well, he's both the horse and the bishop.
Apparently. And Yoshi's the same problem. And then behind Bob, no, go back. Okay, oh, no, you got both of them up. Okay, behind Bob, right? He's got like the Great Wall of Diabetes behind him. You see that? Where it's like he's blocked out a window with soda cans. Gee, how'd that diabetes happen again? And it's all like store brand soda too. The cheap fuck. But no, it's like you can't really see it in this picture. But here we have like Captain N Space Jesus, which is I don't know what the hell the character's called. That's the best way I can describe it. That's what this character was. Movie Bob is playing chess with Captain N Space Jesus. And in the background, you can't really see it, but there's like dish soap, right? Green dish soap that is doing the fucking game flickering thing behind him, right? And you could actually see it happening a little bit on like the turtle shell on the fucking Mario chessboard. Now, okay, obviously you first of all, if you're a competent fucking editor, which I'm not, don't get me wrong. I don't fucking I had no idea how to do any of that shit. But if you're a competent fucking editor, you can keep the turtle from flickering like that anyways. But let's say, okay, like you're just like, I don't give a fuck if the turtle shell does it. It's really small. Nobody's going to notice. But maybe, just maybe, you take the fucking bottle of dish soap and like you don't have it in the fucking background. You know what I mean? Oh, jeez. Fucking Bob. I could spend like the game Overeater episode 100. I highly recommend watching it, folks, because it is something special. It is something special. It is. Let's see. Let's see. Somebody says, "Can we shit on DSP someday?" Bechtloff shits on DSP all the time. Yeah, I'm constantly ragging on DSP. I mean, like DSP is not as pure. DSP is not pure fucking evil like Bob. He's just a jackass. You know, like I don't wish harm on DSP. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like fuck that guy. Like I don't honestly wish that all the bad things in life happen to DSP like I do Bob. He says, "Does Jonathan McIntosh still tweet stupid shit?" I'm not really sure. I'm not allowed on the Twitter. Although Race did make me a new account. I'll have to check that out here soon. I'm probably not going to get on there tonight, but I'll probably get on there here soon. Let's see. Kickstarter to get Movie Bob a hooker at the Bunny Ranch so that he can chill the fuck out. I think I might chip into that. Yeah, I think I would definitely chip into that because somebody needs to. That guy needs to calm down. That guy needs to calm down. All right. Somebody said Bechtloff Patreon idea. It should have been good series where you discuss games that you were really looking forward to but turned out to be shit. I mean, something like Mighty Number 9 would be high on that list. I haven't actually played it, but I've seen enough. Yeah, Mighty. I am forever grateful that I was too broke to donate to the Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter. When it was going on, I was too broke. I couldn't swing it. Because if I'd have had the money, I'd have thrown the money at that thing. Somebody has a headline. Has been YouTuber crushes hooker. Oh, well. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this stream up. Dude, that picture of Movie Bob on Ralph is too perfect. That body looks like it's him. That needs to be like a series of memes. You can't just let that be a one-off. You have to keep reusing that right there. Oh man. Oh, good old Bob. Good old Bob. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm going on for probably about an hour. And yeah. Like I said, if you enjoy the content I do, you know, there's two ways you could. Well, there's a few ways you could show me your appreciation. You could hop onto the old PayPal and send me a one-off donation. You could get onto that Patreon and just I don't know, folks. Why don't you just get on there? Just sign up. Just sign up. Send me $1 a month. You won't miss that. You won't miss that. You know, and you'll probably forget you're doing it forever and ever. Um, but seriously, any help you could do is greatly appreciated. That helps me keep doing what I'm doing. And you know, if you're a big old cheap bastard, can't even send me $1, not even $1. I mean, really, you could like, comment, and subscribe. That helps. And you can always tweet this out because I'm not allowed on the Twitter because of my vile hate speech. Can't help but notice that Richard Spencer's never been thrown off. That's kind of a things that make you go You know, Richard Spencer never seems to be deplatformed. Isn't that interesting? Um, but yeah, like I said, if you're on the Gab, you can follow me on the Gab, the Bechtloff on there. If you're on Facebook, you can follow me on the Facebook, the Bechtloff on there. I post on both frequently, so you know, not just like on Facebook. I don't just post, you know, when I'm doing videos or whatever. Also, you know, funny memes, random thoughts, that kind of stuff. You know, it's a good addition to your Facebook timeline if you're on the old Facebooks. All right, so that's all I got for tonight, folks. I want to thank you all for listening. Bechtloff out.